stream hopefully on both Facebook and YouTube. I don't know how to share the YouTube one, but I'm going to go in a second. Um, Great. I need a volunteer to go first. Can I have one? I like to bring up the rear, just so you know.
Oh,
So, John, are you volunteering? Can you? Will you? Great. So, welcome to the Any Sunday Songwriters Show. Hi, y'all. It's great to see you. Yeah. Hold on. I need to get the recording started before I forget to do it at all. Yeah. Now you know. My guests today are John Ferrulo, and John's going to correct me if I just said his name wrong. So apparently I said it
nope,
just
you
fine.
said right.
Good. And Marianne McAllister, I met both of these people online. This is a first. So I'm excited to have them here because I know you're going to be as impressed as I am. And please welcome them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Also, we're in at least two different time zones, right?
Yes.
You're in Texas, and Marianne, where are you?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, East and Central.
East and Central. It has been as widespread as California and the UK. So
Excellent.
there's
I'm in
plenty
the
of
UK.
options here.
I'm in the
And
UK.
yes,
You're in the.
I
Ah,
saw that. Yeah. Well, I could kind of tell from the moment you said anything. But
And
we've
some
also,
of us are watching from Israel.
yes, our audience is
But you
widespread
can't
as
tell our
well.
accents. Our accents don't sound that Israeli, though.
Yours doesn't, no.
ah,
So anyway, I'm going to go off and please, if you're not the one singing, please mute because that dog you don't even notice next door is deafening on here. And John, you want to kick it
alrighty.
off?
It's a beautiful day here, so I'm going to play this this song here. The sun is shining in my backyard. I'll work all morning, but I won't work that hard. The lake is calling and the birds fly by, and the sun is shining on me. The cat in the window watches life flow by. The birds on the feeder don't even bother to fly. I take another sip of my lemonade. Think I'll move to the shade. My time means more than just getting older. My treasure's more than diamonds and gold. My kitty stretches and bumps into me. I guess it's time for tea. The day is over, night's coming on. I never got to cutting the lawn, but I saw a hawk and an osprey. Had a real good day. Had a real good day. Thank you.
Well, now I wish I'd gone first.
Isn't that always the way?
Dang it. Well, the first song I'd like to sing for you, I had started writing music in high school, and I was asked to write something for the junior senior prom. It was the juniors were doing, so the seniors asked for it. And so they asked for it. So I wrote this song, and it wasn't until I was performing it later I realized this really sounds like a one night stand. Which I don't know, maybe for proms it wasn't too far off. But anyway, it was all well intentioned. Ask me anything, I promise you a rainbow. Take my hand, together we'll try to fly. Close your eyes, pick your color, make it soft, and we'll sail right under love in our skies. We could move on. I'm sailing on. Will you come along? Get ready to fly. Will you come along? Just for tonight. We can say our love's thicker than water. Take a breath, then take a dive. We'll sail the oceans, then stop and dry. In the warm wind, let's swim through life. We could move on. I'm sailing on. Will you come along? Get ready to fly. Will you come along? Just for tonight. We could move on. I'm sailing on. Will you come along? Get ready to fly. Will you come along? Maybe just for a song. Will you come along? Just for tonight.
Nice song.
That was wonderful, you guys. So I'm going to start off with there is a man whose name is Phil Ward, who does this project that's kind of tentatively attached to the Far West Conference, which is Folk Alliance Region West, which I thought was really clever of them. But yeah. He does this project where he gives commissions to visual artists, and then he takes what art he gets from them and he gives the art to a songwriter, and they write him a song that's based on the visual art. And after they finish their song and give it to him, he gives it back to visual artists and asks them to create more art based on the song. So, and it's been through like 8 or 9 cycles now. I've been there for about 7 of them. I actually did some visual art for him because I couldn't resist. And I ended up making a doll, and the doll ended up in the hands of my granddaughter. So this was based on a mobile he sent me a picture of. Feathers and beads, strings and reeds, question of balance. Always ongoing, kinetic motion, ebbing and flowing like the ocean or the wind, not needing to be symmetry, just a question of balance. Meandering here and there, seeking freedom, kind of like you and me. It's dancing, we're dancing too. Subtle rhythms, all swing and sway, a quick pirouette, maybe an arabesque, as long as the music plays, never completing, never repeating, always a question, forever a question of balance.
Yeah.
Thank you. May I invite everybody cordially to open up your chat, because there's a whole nother world going on in there. And most importantly, there's a tip jar there, and the tips will be split 3 ways at the end of the show. So please go have a look. Follow that conversation too. And John and Marianne, the stream is now also playing on your profile page.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So go ahead and invite all your friends.
I like the guitar in that song, Jen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep going round and round for a couple of hours here. Keep y'all busy. Hello, Ian. Oh, my God.
There we go. Hello, Jan. How are you?
I am just fine. It's so good to see you. Ian moved from Austin several years ago to somewhere in Oregon.
Yeah, I'm living outside of Portland.
Yeah.
4 years
Well-
ago in August 1st, as a matter of fact. So.
And I haven't laid eyes on him since, till just this moment.
Oh, I've been keeping the track of you with your music and your emails and stuff. So.
Oh, wonderful. Glad to hear it. So welcome everybody. John, you're up.
I'm up. Okay, yeah, let's see. This was from a prompt challenge that we had here a while back. It's called Winds of Change. Fallen leaves blowing by my window and covering up my green grass. Fallen leaves, nobody wants them, 'cause it just means snow's coming fast. The wind blows from the north, get your coat. Time to stack the wood, pull out the boat. Fallen leaves, the weather's changing. Get your gloves and say a prayer. Fallen leaves, bare trees and bushes. Summer's gone, and you're still here. The wind blows from the north, get your coat. Time to stack the wood, pull out the boat. Winds of change are in the forecast, and nothing stays the same always. Winds of change, no one will warn you to watch out for winds of change. Winds of change, nobody warned me to watch out for winds of change. Thank you.
Well, this next song is over 100 years old. I didn't write it, but it's one that I'm trying to keep things a little light as we move into the afternoon. This is The Cat Came Back. Old Mr. Johnson had troubles of his own. He had a yellow cat that wouldn't leave its home. He tried and he tried to give that cat away. He gave it to a man going far, far away. But the cat came back the very next day. Oh, the cat came back, though they thought he was a goner, till the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. So he gave it to a woman going up in a balloon. He told her to take it to the man in the moon. Now that balloon came down about 90 miles away. Where that woman is now, I can't say. But the cat came back the very next day. Oh, the cat came back, though they thought he was a goner, till the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. So he gave it to a man going way out west, told him to take it to the one he loved best. First that train jumped the track, then it split the rail. Not a soul was left behind to tell the gruesome tale. But that cat came back the very next day. The cat came back, though they thought he was a goner, till the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. Oh, the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back, though they thought he was a goner, till the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away. Just couldn't stay away. Just couldn't stay away.
I love that. That was incredible. I had a cat like that. except she was my cat when my daughter was born. And after she got shooed away from the cradle enough times, she decided she'd had enough. And I thought she was gone. But about 4 months later, she decided to forgive me and showed up again. So life's like that, I guess.
Well, the irony is that usually a companion piece. You gotta do a cat song, you gotta do a dog song too, right? And the cat song is about a cat that won't go away, which is not how cats work. And the dog song is about a dog that won't stay. So it's kind of all mixed up, but at least I play both sides of the coin.
Yes, that's important. Okay, so I'm going to do one more from the Now See Here project, which is what that project is called. And this one, he sent me a picture, a line drawing of a bunch of flowers, like a nosegay, not a big bouquet, but just a small one. And it was 2 or 3 flowers and things kind of, the way that they do, hanging off the sides. And they were roses, but only one rose is colored in. And he's been waiting for about 1.5 years for this song. So I finally got it done, and I sent it to him the day before yesterday, and this is the song. He brought me a rose. In fact, he brought 2 or 3. He told me he loved spending time with me. He told me his heart came with no guarantee of riches. Other than that, he'd like the chance to grant all my wishes. But I've got no wish for fancy clothes. I've got no wish for jewels. And people who think money will make them happy, I think are fools. I find my happiness in the one who chose to care enough to bring me roses. I put the roses in my grandmother's vase. I thought about how cute was that shy little smile on his face. I know his heart's right there on his sleeve. Between that and the roses, what else could I need? 'Cause I have no wish for fancy clothes. I have no wish for jewels. And people who think money will make them happy, I think are fools. I'll find my happiness in the one who chose to care enough to bring me roses. Maybe given enough time, our love will grow. Maybe not, but I will never forget him, that I know. Oh yes. 'Cause I got no wish for fancy clothes. I've got no wish for jewels. And people who think money will make them happy, yeah, they're fools. I find my happiness in the one who chose to care enough to bring me roses. He cared enough to bring me roses. I'll take the one who brings me roses. Thank you. Thanks. I want to introduce my friend Rick Herndon down here. He's in charge of backgrounds, so check and see what he's putting up for your song or for somebody else's song, because it's always entertaining. And John, back to you.
Back to you. So on that project, do they pass your song on to another visual artist who interprets that and then pass that on to another songwriter?
Yes. This is so
that's
much
cool.
fun. His name is Phil Ward, and the project is called Now See Here, and you really should get involved.
Yeah, look at that. It's like an artistic game of telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Cool.
And people have done things like bake cookies for it.
I could go for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I will play you a song about automotive disappointment. The song was on Car Talk years ago. It's probably the most radio play I've ever had. Well, I used to dream about a 63 split window coupe with white interior and racing tires. I could drive it round the loop. I'd take that car up 128, then north and old Route 1, and all the way to Cadillac Mountain, where I watch the rising sun. Take that car out every weekend and we'd polish all the chrome, fill the gas, check the oil, said, tell me, how are things at home? And once I dreamed I'd take that car all the way out west. We drive through Kansas at 100 miles an hour. We wouldn't stop and rest. I'd drive that car to the top of Pikes Peak and burn the brakes coming down. Stop in Denver to see my brother and cruise all over town. But life is funny in its own little ways. You do the best you can. You never get that split window coupe. You get a mortgage and a minivan. I'm not complaining, it's just that I would sometimes like to drive the loop with my blue-eyed darling and my old dreams in my split window coupe. Used to dream about a 63 split window coupe. Thank you.
I loved that. I was that wasn't the heartache I had in mind. I was waiting for it to be more of a oh, how these engines torment us. But that brings my note is I grew up in Kansas, so I understand why you just
just flat on either side.
Oh. Well, I'm going to take it south. This song was written when I was younger. My brother died in a car accident when I was 10 years old. And it was one of these things where, you saw him that morning, and my dad saw him, at a pizza party before he left, and then nobody saw him again after that. It was one of those kinds of accidents. So as a 10-year-old, you do a lot of funny things in terms of thinking, well, maybe didn't really die or something like that, even though you knew that was the truth. And so there's different ways that you wind your way through coping with grief. And this was written several years later. But this is Memories to Soften a Blow. Nowhere to go except a place here in my photograph book. Memories to soften the blow. So you're not around, and we can't talk anymore. That's a pity detail, my feelings just ignore. You left too soon with too much to because he's funny like you. He's not promising, and he can't be you. Pick me up, take me with you. I've got nowhere to go except a place here in my photograph book. Memories to soften the blow. A waltz around the living room furniture. A day of sun and sweet nature. Why am I crying even harder than I left before? Memories are more real than this grief I feel. Our dreams were our life, nothing, no big deal. Now when it's time to trust again, it's getting so hard to not plan for the end. Pick me up, take me with you. I've got nowhere to go except a place here in my photograph book. Memories to conquer a blow.
Beautiful. Um, I'm so sorry you lost your brother. Even if it was that long ago, I bet
Oh,
there's,
so long ago.
yeah,
It's who doesn't go through life with loss?
yeah,
Nobody gets out of here. It's one thing we all share and have in common. So, yeah.
true. Speaking of which, this came up at the beginning of September, and, as it always does, but this year was the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And a lot of the things that I thought when it happened, I no longer think. But one thing that is still pretty uniform is my daughter watched it from her bedroom window. And yeah. And she called me up afterwards. She was at school in New York City. New York is where I moved here from, and to her, and she actually said this to me, she's fixing my mistake because she thought I never should have left and she should have been born in New York. What she doesn't realize is if I had stayed in New York, she wouldn't have been born at all, but that's a whole nother story. So she called me up and she asked me, should she come home here to Austin? And I said she could come home if she wanted to, but really, she was going to have to do her life one way or the other anyway. And this song grew out of that moment. I know you've been watching the world go by, and so often it makes you cry and wonder if it's worth rising in the morning. But though it causes you so much pain, sooner or later it all will change. That's what it always does. When everything you counted on, everything you thought was true, turns around and runs away from you. What can you do but live your whole life, give your whole heart anyway? Speak your whole mind, seek your whole truth anyway. One foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day, any way want to, but you're afraid. But what makes you feel that way is the message of fear you're hearing every day. So don't listen to what they say. Some people live their whole lives that way, but that's not you. We only get a moment, and it won't last. And lots of other hard times were in your past. Your future's up to you, so live your whole life, give your whole heart anyway. Speak your whole mind, seek your whole truth anyway. One foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day. Any way you have to, any way you can, any way you'll have to, anyway. Thank you. She is now the vice president in charge of publicity for HBO Max, so she did just fine.
It's because you gave her good advice.
You did. You did.
It seemed obvious to me,
You know,
and thank goodness it turned out to be good.
we had that happened in. I live in the kind of the DC region, and the following spring was the Maryland DC sniper, and it was a car was showing up and taking people out.
Oh, yeah.
Gas doing their thing, and I went back and I thought, dang, that really was the spring right after all this happened. And my kids were in, let's say, first, third grade, and so the conversations, first off, the principal canceled all field trips. She didn't like field trips, so this was her excuse because she said that, but canceled them all. It became a conversation of, do you have soccer practice? How do you get your gas in your car? And it was like, we've given two big things have happened, and you just got to live your life. You really can't shut yourself in your house. You got to make a decision
Exactly.
to live.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so, just choices we make every day, and then it's the stuff that we don't know that's going to get us, so we might as well get out there and do it.
Dear God, what a big, bright, beautiful, terrifying world it is.
And it's that much more wonderful for it,
Yeah. Used to be you had to go into the woods to meet a wolf, though.
Yeah. I just came from the woods. I didn't see any wolves, so. We had a bear on our street a couple of weeks ago, but I never see one in the woods. So I'm going to play you a marginally happier song than particularly the last one. My friend John used to bring his mom to all the shows we did. His mom was she passed away when she was 95, but she had the best attitude of anybody I ever known. And she loved to garden, so she passed away in her garden, which I thought was like probably what she wanted. And I kind of had this vision of a butterfly leaving her garden. So this is called Marjories Garden. Her name was Marjorie. Well, the daffodils are yellow and all turning toward the sun. The phlox is purple, bright and green. The tulips have just started and the crocuses are done. This garden is a sight to be seen. Well, the bees all buzz around and they do a honey dance. Little crawly bugs scoot by. Frogs and toads are looking for springtime romance. Birds take up the big blue sky. It's a lovely spring day, so tears beg your pardon. There's a colorful new butterfly in Marjorie's garden. Well, dandelions, don't they grow where flowers ought to be? It's not a weed or grass in sight. Every plant is placed there on a tender bended knee. Everyone is fed just right. The bulbs will nap all winter, in the spring poke out their heads. Winter frost can't get them where they sleep. Perennials are special, they have their own new bed. Remember, please don't plant them too deep. It's a lovely spring day, so tears beg your pardon. There's a colorful new butterfly in Marjorie's garden. A rainy day in April means more flowers come in May. The garden's muddy and the trees sprout leaves. She loves her little garden, even on a rainy day. It's not what you see, it's what you believe. It's a lovely spring day, so tears beg your pardon. There's a colorful new butterfly in Marjorie's garden. It's a lovely spring day, so now tears beg your pardon. There's a colorful new butterfly in Marjorie's garden.
Beautiful, John.
Hey, Neil, thanks. Nice to see you, man.
Love that.
That was gorgeous, John. And also, Rick, that's perfect.
Yeah, I had a heck of a time finding that photo. It took me almost to the last word of the song because it kept coming up something that wouldn't show up.
You're always good at that, Rick.
Wow.
Better late than never, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sure.
This next song is called Halfway Isn't There. And my teacher, one of the things she talked about yesterday was things that from fleeing from battle or that or something aside. I mean, it's interesting this comes up right after we just had this previous conversation, but the major things that happen bring you back, make you stop in your tracks and take you to center. And sometimes it can be that, sometimes it can be something as much as a sigh. A sigh can bring you back. And what we talk about a lot is, are you there or not? And so the song is called Halfway Isn't There. No one dreams of flying halfway to the moon. No one falls halfway in love. You're either here or there and not taken one actual step. A scheme is just a little mind game I can play, going circles in my head and nowhere else. I can't even say I tried, I only fool myself. I've I've got drawers of halfways in a room upstairs, and it's painful to admit that they have got to be let go. Boxed up and labeled on the porch and taken down the road. Then wisely give attention to the few that should see the light of day. So if I'm pulling out a weed or walking with a friend, and I wonder where the hell I am, and if it's halfway anywhere, the answer's in the question I just asked. Time to face the task. Remove the bondage that's a mask. Feel the sun upon my face and bask.
That was so lovely, and I absolutely adore the opening line.
That was one of those things that, you know, the lines come to you at some point and you think, well, I probably better hang on to that.
Yeah. Good one. I'm going to change the pace entirely because I've got my keyboard here in front of me, and I don't often get to do this except when it happens to be hooked up, which is today. So, and I can't usually do it in the Jerusalem thing in the morning because I'm usually not finished setting up when that happens. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I have no idea where this song came from. And so I have no excuse. Where are all the Gretas and Marlenas? And all the Mae Wests, where are they? No one tells the boys, come up and see me sometime. That's all out of style nowadays. But I still long for old-time steamy romance in satin gowns and stockings with seams, and men that wear trench coats and fedora hats. I wish they'd bring that all back. 'Cause I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna whistle like Bacall and have them all eating from my hand. They'd put me on a pedestal competing for my glance. If I was a femme fatale, I wanna be a vamp. Oh, like the red. Though I am a liberated woman, sometimes I'd prefer to be a tease. And when I see those starlets with eyes come hither soft, I could pull that off, it seems to me. See? And men would buy me clothes and bring me jewelry, and open doors and pull me out a seat, and then stand by politely until I'd sit, enjoy my sparkling wit, a little risque repartee with a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna be the party doll who upsets all their other plans. I know it isn't fashionable, but it's so elegant. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Dietrich and Davis, they had it made. Mansfield and Monroe, hey, where'd they all go? Well, the women we admire now in the movies are all doctors and lawyers and chiefs. They don't flutter their lashes or swing their hips. They don't pout their lips or sit on anyone's knee. And if they're in some older profession, they've all been reformed by Act 3. They've given up their cigarettes and champagne. I guess we've come a long way, but I sure miss the day of the femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna give the boys the eye and call some guy my honey lamb. I'd have them all in a spell. I'd have them in a
Oh, Jan, that was wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Rick, where's my hat?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't find that. I was looking for it.
I have one.
Oh, no. Now what am I supposed to play? Well, given that song, I usually save this for later. But this takes a little bit of a setup. There used to be a restaurant near here called Skip's Restaurant that had an old-fashioned cocktail lounge upside of it called the Embers. And you have to picture the inside of it. It was all dark mahogany, well, fake mahogany, but dark, and all red Naugahyde furniture, from the days when Nagas weren't endangered. And so there was a femme fatale in there. There was a guy named Tony that would sit at the corner of the bar all night and drink Bud Light and eat the little peanuts out of the little wooden bowls. And there's another woman named Lorraine that would sit around the corner from him. And they were both getting pretty close to their sell-by date. And this is from Tony's standpoint. Neon is purple and pink. I step in for a drink. The TV's erratic and the bar stools are plastic. I'm in the embers again. The paneling's seen better days. Old and always this way. The glasses are clouded and his bar's never crowded. I'm in the embers again. The pool table has a few tears, like most of the chairs. The dartboard's hung too low, and most folks are solo. It's just the embers again. And it's not too late, and I can't wait. I'll be here for the rest of the night. If I go home, would it be home? Would I find that home is alright? Once I was a big wheel, I made some big deals, but that was back when, and I was hot then. It's just the embers again. You have to picture our hero sit at the corner of the bar, much like Rick has there. And he's enjoying his second Bud Light of the night. That's all he ever really has. And he's got what we used to call shoe polish black hair, the kind where when you sweat, the dye runs down the side of your face. You guys might have seen that on TV recently. And he's got his polyester disco shirt, and it's a little bit tight. The buttons are fighting to hold Tony into the shirt, basically. He's got gold chains. And sitting on the corner from him is Lorraine in tight red jeans with bleach blonde hair and maybe cat-eye glasses, and she's been staring in the mirror all night, trying to decide if she has spinach in her teeth. She can't really tell. And he starts chatting about, he tells about all the times when he was a double knot spy in Europe, and he would go from country to country doing double knot spy things in his Aston Martin DB9 with a little button that sprayed oil out the back. My old Chevelle used to spray oil out the back, not on purpose. And he said, I've been to Liechtenstein and Belgium and Paris and Rome and Naples and Portugal. He says, I'd love to take you to Europe sometime. She says, you know, I've never been east of Lynn. Which now I realize the only guy here that might know Lynn is Neil Braverman. Lynn's right on the ocean, and east of Lynn is the ocean. And my friend Don likes to remind me of that when he hears that song. And he says, well, I'll tell you what. He goes, if you want, I can take you to the Riviera. She says, well, yeah, I'll go to the Riviera. When do we leave? He says, right now, because it's parked right out back. You have to be a certain age to know what that means.
That's great, John.
Come over here. This is the complete story of Tony, if you ever want to know his whole life.
Oh my gosh.
It's in there. I get a little carried away with the backstory when I wrote that song.
No, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that was great. Keep that.
Okay. I will.
Well, this is another old thing. One of those almost 100-year-old. It's close to 100 years old. Irving Berlin's song. Kind of the flip side of your song, John. This is What'll I Do? The neat thing about this is one of Irving's autobiographical songs. He was in love, and the father split him up and got her going elsewhere while he was going overseas and singing and performing. And this was actually one of the songs he penned about her. Gone is the romance that was so divine. 'Tis broken and cannot be mended. You must go your way and I must go mine. But now our love and dreams have ended. What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do? What'll I do when I'm wondering who is kissing you? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my
That's just beautiful. Don't mute just yet. I have questions.
Oh, okay.
One thing I know about that song is that she was being kept apart from him. His letters were not getting through, and she heard that song on the radio and understood that it was for her and made an effort to find him. So it all worked out. He married her.
They did get married. That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So the time has come for me to ask both you and John, starting with you, where are you going to be next, and where can people find you online?
Where will I be next? Most of my what I was doing was playing for senior institutions. I really love to play the standards and the old stuff. And what I was doing before the pandemic was to play and revive memories. And that was the interesting thing that has happened for me is that doing the open mics, and I was moving into 60s and 70s stuff anyway, but part of the joy is being able to play the songs that revive. I mean, you smell chocolate and you think of your birthday, and music has the same triggers in it. And so being able to do that at a lot of open mics. The senior institution, of course, that's dried up, and things were just starting to pick up. And I was getting a couple of gigs, starting to build it up, and we crashed again. So I'm just praying that things can get back on track maybe in October and start playing. Otherwise, playing virtual mics. I love, oh my gosh, the Dun Cow crowd, arts crowd at the North Reading Coffee House Hour. I'm going to forget things here. Lim is in England. There's so many places that I'm loving playing. Otherwise, okay, this isn't good, but I don't go to restaurants, and so I'm not playing live because I don't want to encourage other people to go to them either.
Yes.
And I'm really sorry to the restaurant industry for this. And I do take out whenever I can, and I go in and pull it out. But otherwise, it's just I can't put myself out there and expect other people to go out there and then listen.
I'm in the same space. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So where can people find you online?
I have a Facebook page, Marianne McAllister. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm very slow about uploading things. I'm doing Indian Summer, and I'm running out of time to make it timely to get it out there. So there is YouTube, Marianne McAllister, my name, and I have a website, but it is not something that I'm really pushing just yet because it's going to have the YouTube stuff on it.
So look for Marianne on Facebook. And John, how about you?
Well, I think like Marianne was saying, there's not a lot of indoor stuff going on, and we're getting near, where it's too cold to do outdoor stuff. Mm-hmm. So this month there's been a lot of outdoor stuff, and I think next month there's a couple of things like this, and we're actually doing our open mic. At least we've done one in person so far, and we're going to try the next couple in person. See how it works out. But we've got Neil has been to our place. It's a big old church hall, so it's huge, and we only have 15 or 20 people in there, so it's like 15% capacity, and everybody's masked up, and everybody's supposed to be vaccinated when they come there and all that. So we're hoping to keep that live for a while. Other than that, we'll be back on Zoom where I met you.
Yeah. And where can people find you online?
Well, I have a website, johnferrulo.com, and there's a Facebook page with my name. It's John Ferrulo Musician on Facebook, and then there's a regular page as well. And there's a Reverb Nation page, and I don't have a YouTube page because I don't have a lot of videos. Nobody wants to see videos of me. And
that is so untrue.
Yeah. But that's mostly where I am. I'm going to maybe start working on a new recording project soon, which will take a few months to do. So I'll let you know when that comes out.
Okay. Well, my next appearance will be on here, the Any Sunday Songwriters Show. That's a mouthful to say. It will be October 3rd. And it will include Matt Wheeler, who I met online, and Harriet Reynolds, who's from somewhere near here in Austin. She was here briefly at the beginning of this show. And she has joined me on stage at the place that I used to do this on the second Sunday at a bricks and mortar sort of establishment that went south in March 2020. But it actually turned out to be a good thing because it took me about 30 seconds to realize I could now do it on any Sunday I wanted, and that I was no longer limited to people who were either in or passing through Austin, hence yourselves. And we have, as I mentioned earlier, audience from all over the world. So it's worked out really well, and I'm planning to keep this show going even after we're back on live stage. I have something booked at the New World Deli in Austin on October 10th, and it remains to be seen whether we can actually do that. And the Austin Carolers, of which I am the head, will be, as far as we can tell right now, we'll be doing our season this year. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that. And you can find me and a whole bunch of things I consider entertaining and important at jansides.com, which is spelled exactly like you see it in my little box here. There is something this reminds me of. Hollywood Squares, perhaps.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah. The Brady Bunch seems more like it. So on my website, you can find this, which is the book version of a CD I recorded, and it actually has the CD in the back, but it also has the lyrics for all the songs and a little backstory on each song, and line drawings and watercolors that were a collaboration between myself and Vanessa Lively, who is from here in Austin. She turned my little scribbles into art. And what Unsung is the stories from the Bible that you never actually got to hear. And it is now, I mean, the whole book thing was a surprise to me. Somebody said it and I knew he was right, and so I did it. But now it's turning into a musical, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Just every time when I finally figured out what the storyline was going to be, like the overarching storyline for the musical, I was so excited I told everybody I encountered. So this is real. I've wanted to write a musical for most of my life, and this is real. It's really happening. So this is one of the songs from that project. It's one of the first ones I wrote for that project, and some of y'all have heard it before. But I hope you liked it, because here it comes again. Hold on. That's too mean to do to anybody. That's better.
As far back as I remember, I was always Rachel's sister. Sometimes I think that started before she was even born. She was lively, she was clever, and everybody loved her. And when the men came looking, it was Rachel they looked for. Not me, I was Rachel's sister. Jacob saw her fetching water, asked if she was Laban's daughter, and she ran home to let us know to make room for one more. I fell in love that night at dinner. He never saw for watching her, and when the meal was over, it was Rachel he asked for. Not me, I'm just Rachel's sister. This
those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. They said Jacob was the trickster, but my father brought me forward on Rachel's wedding day, draped in veils upon his arm. But then Jacob worked the harder, and for Rachel too he bartered. Still, I thought I'd win him when each new son was born to me, Rachel's sister. But every night I'd hear her whisper, "Give me sons like you gave my sister, and prove that you love me. Prove you love me more." So then one night he did it, and little Joseph was his favorite. But Rachel died in childbirth when her second son was born, leaving me, Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. Every now and then I wonder, is he still thinking of her? Though I'm the one that keeps him warm when the nights are cold. Did she love him as I love him, or did she just love to win? But she is blessed memory, so I will never know. I am only Rachel's sister. That is the story as it is written. Those were the lives we were given. Here is the truth, not the one the old men told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister, and it can only be told by Rachel's sister.
Love that song.
Thank you. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Can't wait to see the whole project. So I run an open mic. I've run for a number of years now, and right now it was online. Now it's live for now, but could go back on Zoom, or we may. Our stretch goal is to figure out to get set up to make it hybrid, so some people can come live and some people can come online. And I'm going to put a link in the chat window for the mailing list, so if you're interested, you know what's going on there. So this is a happy song. Waking up, I rub my weary eyes. Waking up, I rub my weary eyes, greet the dawning of a new sunrise, draw the curtains, sun fills up my room, draw the curtains, sun fills up my room. Birds are singing, spring will be here soon. Out my window, everything looks good. World rolls by, looking like it should. Smell the coffee, hear the water drip. Smell the coffee, hear the water drip. Another morning on this mortal trip. Out my window, everything looks good. World rolls by, looking like it should. Waking up, I rub my aging eyes. Waking up, I rub my aging eyes. Greet the dawning of a new sunrise.
Beautiful.
And in March, after being locked down for so long, I wanted to get out.
Well, this next song jumps to when I was in college. I was with a sort of Up With People group. We would sing and dance and go to alumni functions, we went to a couple of the World's Fairs in New Orleans and Vancouver, and we do a lot of town things. This is in Kansas. So Kansas State University. At one point we were doing a dinner show for the Railroad Association. And at that point I was writing songs, and Polish, our director, said, do you come up with something for the railroad industry? And I thought, well, I could see about doing that. So I came up with this with a certain amount of nods to blues in the night, because it's 12 pattern blues. And the click-a-tack, I realized there was a little bit of that going in my head when one of the lines that comes up. And hooey to hooey, a railroad, the engine in the night, and the loneliness of it. I kind of probably took the wrong way for the group we were playing for, because this is based on a woman whose son is in the beginning railroad industry when it's taking off. And it's so great that he's got this job with this thing, and she's losing her son as far as she knows. So this is called Ice Cream in the Summer. Black train coming down the track, clack-a-ticka, it's coming back, and bringing more folks and blankets. It's got cold breath that belches and squelches out the laughing birds and twittering children, bringing more robust prairie pilgrims. Situations of fact, my sweet baby ain't coming back. My boy says she's the ship of the prairies. Says he's a sailor, proud of the cargo he carries. get ice cream in the summer. Ice cream in the summer. In the summertime, I get ice cream. All my friends are the laughter children, and I just sway in my shady swing, and I spoon over that ice cream in the summer heat. Swing and spoon that ice cream in the summer heat.
Oh, great, Marianne.
Hey, as a preface, we didn't put that song in there because it just wasn't that. He says, "Why don't you go ahead and play Memories to Soften the Blow?" But I still got to.
Oh my!
We knew it wasn't that flattering to the industry, so that.
They loved it that much, eh?
No, it was Polish. Polish says, "Let's not do that." So let's go.
Well, I loved it. This is dedicated to both of you and everybody else here, and others who are not here. Old friends, they call you on the phone sometimes, or show up on your doorstep and say, remember when? Unpack their adventures and hang them in the closets of your heart. Old friends, they write their letters years too late, but you write back anyway. Wake you late at night, calling from the airport in between flights. I used to worry everyone was leaving and soon they'd all be gone. But I was wrong, 'cause life goes on. Sooner or later they all came home. Old friends, no one could measure or compare the treasure of these memories we share. And I will always care for old friends. I used to worry everyone was leaving and soon I'd be alone. But I was wrong, 'cause life goes on. Sooner or later we all come home. Oh, friends, all our paths will cross again, like multicolored ribbons and laced through time and space. And there will always be a place for old friends. Ooh.
Perfect
Thank
song.
you.
Good song.
Thanks. Heartfelt.
Speaking of old friends, Neil and I have a friend named Mike Delaney, who I first met the day before I wrote this song, 20-something years ago. And Mike and I were in a songwriting class together, and I had just met him, and we were assigned to go out and interview each other and do a biographical piece about the other person. And at the time, Mike was working for the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, helping to clean up Boston Harbor. So that's where this comes from. And I learned later, you can take everything I know about sailing and you can put it in a paper bag and throw it away. and you won't lose anything. So I learned later that you don't fish on a sailboat, but Mike does apparently. Lower the jib, son, sail away. It's time we head back home. We fished, we've talked all today. Can't take these fish home. See the lights in this harbor town. See the shore come back around. It's time to go home. I sailed this bay so many times, just me and my dad. The way it looks now, that's a crime. What made this water bad? See the lights in this harbor town. See the shore come back around. It's time to go home. But I wish that I could do something to make this water fine. 'Cause in my mind I know there's a way. Just take some time. See the lights in this harbor town. See the shore come back around. It's time to go home. Now my son works the sails. I taught him like my dad. Maybe when his son sails, his bay won't look so bad. See the lights in this harbor town. See the shore come back around. Time to go home. See the lights in this harbor town. See the shore come back around. It's time to go home.
John, I love that song so much.
Hey, thanks, Neil. Mike apparently did a good job. The harbor looks good.
He did, and he actually quoted that song too. Hope he told you.
Yeah, he did. He even gave me my $9.
John, I love your music. I haven't heard it before, so this has been so cool. You're, especially the natural elements and the nature that comes through.
Oh, thanks, Mary. I like your music as well. I like your voice.
Oh, well, thank you. It's just what you evoke and the way you bring things around, the imagery is just, I mean, nature and it's more than the senses, but especially I can see exactly what you're painting, the pictures that you make, and it's just it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I usually so nervous about the next song that I'm thinking, wait a minute, his song went by and he didn't get to talk about it. So I want to take that chance.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do a hard right here. And this is I know this song from way back. I thought it was newer than it was. Everybody Loves My Baby. Because when I think of it, I think of Doris Day in this fabulous dress singing it, and Jimmy Cagney's getting all steamed and angry, fuming in some banquette or something. But it's actually older than that. So I'd like to include that if I could. So Everybody Loves My Baby. Oh, everybody loves my baby, but my baby don't love nobody but me. Nobody but me. Yes, everybody wants my baby, but my baby don't want nobody but me. That's plain to see. I am his sweet patootie, and he's my loving man. Knows how to do his duty, loves me like no other can. Everybody loves my baby, but my baby don't love nobody but me. Nobody but me. Yes, everybody wants my baby, but my baby don't want nobody but me. That's plain to see. Now when my baby kisses me upon my rosy cheeks, I just let those kisses be. Don't wash my face for weeks. Everybody loves my baby, but my baby don't love nobody but me. Nobody but me. Yes, everybody wants my baby, but my baby don't want nobody but me. Nobody but me.
That was great. Wonderful.
Those dresses gave me a lifelong yen to own multiple dresses like that. And to this day, that's the first, when somebody comes on stage, the first thing I see is what they're wearing. You know, they could probably sing a wonderful song. I don't care yet.
Well, let me see the dress. Well, and the fascinating thing for me is that she wasn't even going to sing. Doris Day, she was going to be a dancer. Trained in ballet and was in a horrible car accident, shattered her leg. And they said, hon, no. So 16 years old, her life was ruined.
Oh my God.
I had to find something
I
else.
did not know that.
Yeah. And by golly, somebody realized, well, the girl can sing.
What a loss that would have been to the rest of us if she'd never used that voice.
I never would have seen her dance. I know that's
Yeah.
for sure. So,
Yeah.
wow. I mean, the pain she went through, but oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do one more from Unsung. Yeah, I pretty much decided that the musical, the song's about, see, I thought they were all going to be about women. And it didn't turn out that way. About halfway through, the songs just kind of started writing themselves, and I was no longer in charge, and it was pretty clear. So, you know, it turns out that who I'm really in love with is the underdog, whether it's male or female. And this song is about one of the guys. I also thought it was only going to be Old Testament because I'm Jewish, and that's what I know. That didn't turn out to be true either. So clearly, I was not in charge of picking the characters. And the one I picked for this song, you'd have to know the story, but I suspect most people do. The reason why this happened at all is because, like it or not, the Bible is the biggest influence on Western culture that there is. You know, with the possible exception of the second runner, Shakespeare, everybody knows those Bible stories, you know? In fact, Somebody told me I should get my daughter a book of Bible stories and read them to her when she was real small, like 3. And I started reading Adam and Eve. I got into maybe the second sentence and she goes, "Oh, Adam and Eve." She's 3. And then a couple days later it was, "Oh, Noah's Ark. Yeah, I know that one." And I thought, at 3 years old, she's already heard these stories. This is definitely something to pay attention to. So this is probably a story you know, that although you may not remember specifics about it. But Jacob really was kind of a coyote. And yeah. And so this is what happened, and this is his brother's take on what he did. I may have... Oops. Uh-oh. I may have been the first one out of the womb on the day that we were born. I may have grown taller and stronger, but that may be unimportant. And though I was the better hunter, you were the one who got blessed. Papa might have liked the meat I brought, but Mom always liked you best. I may have sold you my birthright, 'cause I was a hungry guy. The smell of your bean stew made me crazy enough to pay your price. Totally fooled me with your trick, and I didn't protest. But Mom always liked you best. I'll admit I wasn't around much, and Mom may have thought that a shame, but she always called you her sweet Jacob and had trouble remembering my name. It's Esau, Mom. So when it came time for Papa to give my inheritance to me, Mom sent you into his room instead, 'cause she knew he couldn't see. She made you feel and smell just like me, and you stole my bequest. And by the time I got there, it was too late, 'cause Mom always liked you best. There goes my future. Mom always liked you best. She said God made her do it, but we both know Mom always liked you best. Thank you.
Nice.
Actually, the rest of that sentence was, I've decided to take the guys out of the musical so that we can have the director, who is female, make her point about being a director despite what the old boys club thinks.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to do a little bit of a seminar in songwriting, music theory, and tax preparation. I am an expert in none of these things. But what I do is I overhear people and I write things down when I hear them talking. And we were out at a restaurant one time, and much to my wife's chagrin, I was actually listening to the people behind me, not to her. And they were talking about something, and this guy was disparaging people. And a woman said, "You can't paint all people with the same brush like that." I said, "Oh, that's a good line. I'm going to keep that." And so I wrote that down.
May I interrupt for just 1 second?
Sure.
This is our last round.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give the tax advice for free. Anyway, so I wrote that down and put it in my pocket. And later on, when I got home, I saved a receipt from the dinner, and I stapled that to the little piece of paper. Then I eventually stapled that whole thing to the paper with the lyrics on it from the song. Here's my thought. Someday Bruce Springsteen might record this song because it's the only rock and roll song I've ever written. And they're going to play it probably, I think I figured out 500 million times on Spotify, and I'm going to get a check for $40. That's right. And I'm going to take that check for $40, and I'm going to take the receipt from the restaurant that was $60, and I'm going to tell the IRS they owe me $20. That should work pretty well. So this is called Don't Paint Me with the Same Brush. It's the only rock and roll song I have. It's the only lively song. That's the horn section. And that's Steve Cropper. And that's Duck Dunn on the bass. Here we go. Paint me with the same brush, 'cause you don't know what I'm like. Don't paint me with the same brush, you haven't got it right. You think you know the way, I would lean on everything. You think you know the way, next words I might sing. Don't paint me with the same brush. Don't tell me you know better, and yours is the only right. Don't tell me you know better. Don't drag me to that night. I might not have all the answers, or even all the clues, but I am still searching, 'cause that is what I do. Don't paint me with the same brush. Take it, Steve. Paint me with the same brush. Don't tell me I'm a mean one, when you don't know what I'm like. Don't tell me I'm a mean one, you haven't got it right. I might not have all the answers, or even all the clues, but I am still seeking, 'cause that is what I do. Don't paint me with the same brush. 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 Thank you. Jan, thanks for doing this. This has been great fun.
I'm delighted you're here, John.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great. I really appreciate
Sharing
it.
your stuff. This is so cool.
Yeah. Great songs.
Well, I'm going to grab from here. Before I start, thank you, Jan, for this opportunity. I don't have that much original music, so thank you for suffering me slipping in these oldies.
Are you kidding? I love those.
Well, I was doing the Wikipedia thing. This is old enough, right? This is public, right? I didn't want to.
I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a lot of them. Yeah.
make sure yeah. So this last song I'm about to play is original. It's the closest thing I have to a Christmas song, and except for probably one phrase within it, to me, it's the holidays for every single one of us that come up in December. It's called Lucky Enough. This season's weighted with waiting. The nights start earlier and last longer too. God meets us best in the darkness. Comes as a baby that a faith might be renewed. We look at the lights in the evergreens glistening. We look at the lights in the children's eyes listening. Windows and houses welcome and beckon. Are you lucky enough to look inward and see such a light in yourself? Each year you follow traditions. Some things you hang on to or it's just not the same. Sometimes you add a new name or two. Sometimes there's a grief of a face not looking back at you. We look at the lights in the evergreens glistening. We look at the lights in the children's eyes listening. Windows and houses welcome and beckon. Are you lucky enough to look inward and see such a light in yourself? The season starts in excitement. So many ideas and things to do. The days get shorter and you're running out of time. Don't you see that's just life and the choices that we choose? We look at the lights in the evergreens glistening. We look at the lights in the children's eyes listening. Windows and houses welcome and beckon. Are you lucky enough to look inward and see such a light in yourself? Here's what I wish in the season, that your heart can see light in what you choose to do. Love doesn't have to be a zero-sum game, and if we live and love right, no one has to lose. We look at the lights in the evergreens glistening. We look at the lights in the children's eyes listening. Windows and houses welcome and beckon. I hope you're lucky enough to look inward and see such a light in yourself. Jen, you are a light. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Marianne, and right back at you.
Oh.
That was just beautiful.
Nice song.
Yeah. So my parting shot is going to be this one. I'm a lifelong feminist, but I've tried to be gentle about it. When I first discovered other people were doing it, one of the first conclusions I came to is I can't spend my life that angry. And I never really saw myself as limited in any way. But I'm under 5 feet tall, so I can't bludgeon anybody over the head with anything. First of all, because I can't reach, and secondly, because it's dangerous. And so this is an example of that. You played the prince and also the dragon, a captive princess was the role you saved for me. I didn't really need to be rescued, but I liked your company. I was the queen in my own private tower, but it only had one story before you came. I didn't plan for a knight in shining armor to come and save me. Take my hand. We won't be prisoners in some fantasy. We can walk this land, you and me together, equally. I understand you grew up believing your role was to slay the enemy, but I also have some skill with a sword, so I'll stand by you, you stand by me, and take my hand. Let's not be prisoners in some fantasy. We can walk this land, you and me together, equally. Yes, let's be lovers. Let's make another reality. Take my hand. We won't be prisoners in a fantasy. We will walk this land, you and me together, equally. So I'd like to say thank you to John Ferrulo, and let's have another big hand for him, please.
Thank you.
And for Marianne McAllister, big hand for her. You guys were just fabulous, and this was so much fun. And thank everybody in the audience for being here. Can we all uncloak to say goodbye? And one more reminder about the tip jar in the chat.
Look.
And I'm so delighted you all came. This was... Where is that coming from?
Oops.
Oh, well, it's lovely, whatever it is. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming. If you'd like to be on the mailing list for this show, as I said, our next guests will be Matt Wheeler and Harriet Reynolds. And I know some really fabulous singers and songwriters, so you ought to be here. And can we all uncloak to say goodbye? Bye.
Bye, Jan.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
Marianne.
you.
Bye, John.
Bye, all. Nice seeing you all.
Bye.
And stop. And that stopped. Oops.